No more than enough. Jesus, you are the wrong one. Nothing is impossible for you. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible for you. You hold my world in your hand. Impossible for you. Nothing is I believe you're my healer. I believe you are Jesus, 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 all I need. All my every moment, you calm my raging sea. You walk with me through fire, and heal all my disease. I trust in you. I trust in you. I believe you're my healer. You are you're more than enough for me. You're all I need. Microphone say, you hold my every moment. Say, you calm my raging sea. Walk with me. You walk with me through fire. Lord, trust in you. Say, I trust in you. I trust. Nothing is impossible for you. Nothing is impossible. Oh, nothing is impossible. Nothing for you. You are in your hands. Nothing is impossible for you. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible for you. In your hands, you got my world in your hands. You can change it whenever you want to. You can fix it whenever you want to. You can heal me whenever we believe your God. You got the whole world in your hands. You are the God. You got the whole strength, strength like no other. Strength like no other. Just me. You are my hope like no other. Hope like no other.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, members. It is a pleasure seeing you all this afternoon. We kindly request to start our meeting now. It is 2:45. It's 2:45. We apologize for the slight delay, the very long delay in starting, but we wanted to ensure that we had quorum. For those online, could you kindly confirm that you can see us and you can hear us? Somebody online can please post in the chat group just to let us know that you're with us and you are online. We have an agenda with us. If we can all kindly turn to our agenda. And members, for purposes of this meeting, we kindly request that the meeting is conducted in English, but like is the case always, we will ask one of us to translate to Luganda. I'll kindly request the vice chair to step in and translate to Luganda so that everybody can be inclusive, and not whenever I speak or whenever someone speaks, but he will give a summary at the end for everybody to be able to understand. So in reading our agenda, our time is 2:45 and the meeting has been called to order. Our proposed agenda for the 5th annual general meeting scheduled for Saturday, 1st of July, 2023 at the church auditorium. That's today. Number 1 is opening prayer and scripture reflection. And this is going to be by our own committee member and our assistant vicar, Reverend Moses Isabidie, who is here with us. We'll then have communication from the chairperson. We will review the previous minutes and matters arising, and you have the minutes with you. These have been circulated to all. We will have the treasurer's report, treasurers and subcommittee reports. We will have the external auditor's report, and Faith will shortly confirm that our external auditors are here with us. We will have approvals of proposals. We will have election of the secretary. We will have 2 testimonies from some of our members who are here. We have a video that will be showing you as well of the testimonies, and this video will be shared. We have so many stories and testimonies to share, but unfortunately, due to time, we cannot get everybody to come and talk to us about the good things that the Sacco has done. We will then have remarks from the clergy representative and other guests and a closing prayer. That is our proposed agenda for now, members, but we would like to make modifications to it. And the reason I read it as is because we have already made modifications as an executive committee and would kindly like for you to consider these. And then we will also receive your comments on any additional modifications you might have. So the first request we have is on number 4, which is treasurers and subcommittees report. You're going to receive the treasurer's report only, which encompasses or has all the subcommittees report. So you're not going to have other subcommittee members stand up to give you reports because the treasurer is going to cover that. The second change we have is that number 6, approval of proposals, has been removed because members, we are not coming to you to amend any changes in policy or change any investment ideas. And the proposal that the executive committee thought that needed to come to you, which was in regard to investing in treasury bills, was already passed in the last AGM. So members, please allow us to remove number 6 from the agenda. The next change to the agenda is number 9, where because we have with us, Reverend Moses, we will allow him to, we will change number 9 to Q&A so that we can allow you to interact with us and ask any questions that you might have. And then before the closing prayer, which is number 10, Reverend Moses will give a few remarks on behalf of the church. Then we'll close in prayer and we'll share a cup of tea together, or earlier, the tea might come even before we close. So members, those are the changes to the agenda, and we kindly request you to propose any additional changes. And if you do not have any, could we please have somebody move for adoption of the agenda and another person seconding the person. So thank you very much. I hope it's come up. If we could kindly type and change the remarks. Faith, if you're there, if we can change to put the changes in the agenda that have been reported. Removing number 6, and then number 9 is going to be Q&A. Then number 4 we do not have subcommittee reports because they have all been included. I don't know if Faith is there on the laptop. Are you able to change the agenda on the laptop? If we could change, we are removing subcommittee reports. If you could type on the laptop as we are changing. Yes. Number 4 is changing. Remove subcommittee reports. Then number 6, approval of the approvals of proposals is going out. Number 9 is Q&A. Then number 10 will have closing remarks from the assistant vicar and closing remarks and prayer. If we could please update the agenda. Members, do we kindly have any reaction to this before we start? Yes, Mr. Chibowa. Faith, could we please have someone move with a microphone across? Thank you. Mr. Chibowa would like to make a comment. Faith, if you can update it in the meantime, please. Yes, Mr. Chibowa, thank you. I think the microphone is not on. Any other business? Thank you very much, Mr. Chibowa. That's a good comment. We had a discussion and we recommend that any other business will be covered under Q&A. So if anybody has any questions or any other business to raise, it will be covered under the Q&A session, the question and answer session, because that is going to be number 9. So if anyone has any comment to make at that point, it will be raised. And for AGMs, it is recommended that you do not have any other business that has not been pre-discussed. So if you have any questions or any proposals for consideration, they will come in the question and answer session. Mr. Chibowa, I hope that is satisfactory. We have included number 9. It's being updated now. If we could have it, please updated. Yes, madam, kindly. There's somebody who needs the microphone, please. Yes, please. Thank you very much, Madam Babazi. Thank you very much. That's a very good idea. Have Madam Babazi says if it's there, someone has anything you would want us to discuss at this point, please raise it now and it will be added to the agenda. Mr. Chibowa, did you have anything to add that you would have wanted to add to the agenda? You will raise it in due course. Thank you very much. Okay, members, thank you for your comments. And again, we are looking at the time because we know it's a Saturday and people have to go back to their farms to functions, to weddings, to businesses. So we do not want to keep you very long. We want to thank you all for coming once again. And could we please have someone move for adoption of the agenda? Since the changes are being made, Faith, we are waiting for you to make the changes on the screen so that members can see that this has been changed. Could someone please move for adoption and someone else seconding this? The committee cannot move because the committee is part of this. Anybody move for adoption of the agenda? Yes, please. If we could please get your name.
My name is Hannington Shahuka. With the amendment made therein on the agenda, I propose that we adopt the agenda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hannington, and very good to see you with us today. Thank you. Could we have a seconder, please? Thank you very much.
Geoffrey Semakula is my name. I second it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Semakula. Thank you very much, members. Let's clap for that. So members, our agenda has been adopted, and we will now kindly request and invite our vicar to open us in prayer and scripture reflection. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. The Lord be with you. Let us pray. God, our Heavenly Father, we honor your name. We bless you for watching and keeping us safe since the last AGM. We thank you for blessing our deliberations. We pray that you will guide our deliberations even today, and that you will hasten the footsteps of those who are coming to join us, and that even those online will be able to follow us clearly. We pray for our chair, that as she leads us, that you will grant her wisdom and knowledge through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Our reflection is coming from Luke 14, verses 25 to 30, and it says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, this person began to build and wasn't able to finish. Beloved, we started this circle so that it will flourish, so that it will be an attraction, so that our expectations will shape our experiences, so that these experiences will lead us to impressive legacy. That is the purpose why we started this circle. We had expectations. Like one who wants to build a house. You expect you will do this, you will do the other. But friends, if we started it and it stalled on the way, and instead of growing, people are just living. Even our very members will say, hey, I thought they wanted to start this circle to grow. We have good examples of why save, of Watoto. They are in billions. They even lend, I think, to the banks. We too want to go to that level. And the members of Why Save, my goodness, have benefited so much. For example, they undertake to buy big chunks of land, and then they divide it into plots, and first priority is given to their members to buy, and it is higher purchase. You don't say, oh, you have to pay all the money once. No, you still borrow from that circle and you pay until you clear. There is another circle, the St. Franciscan circle at Makerere. My goodness. They too, that one is because it is a church of Uganda. That too
Meeting that we get the ideas that can help us move forward from where we are to another level. And we also want to thank you for serving. And please, I encourage that we continue serving together. I also want to encourage you that you be the ambassadors for a circle where you interact with 1 or 2 people outside there. Please encourage them that there is something here that they can join. And there is one thing, members, I want you to know. This circle, much as it was started by us, the members of the church here, but it appreciates diversity in terms of religion, in terms of culture, in terms of differences in the people. Encourage a friend, a Muslim colleague. Do we have a Muslim with us here? Do we have a Muslim who is serving with us here? By show of hands. Yes, that one speaks something that maybe members, people think it is for Christians, and specifically for Christians of Kisugu. Eh? She's a member. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, madam, for being a member. Now you are the ambassador to the Muslim community. Kindly help us get more members from there. It's a community circle. It's for all the members, for all the people in the community. And of course, the community is big. You can have someone in Gava is part of the community. I encourage that you do so. Just a moment, because I may not have a chance to speak again. We have a challenge that we are facing, and this challenge is about dormant members. Initially, we had thought it is an effect of COVID, and yes, we appreciate it because this year we made some calls to members who are not serving. And remember, it appeared as one of the action points in our annual general meeting we had last time, that we should reach out to the members. And indeed, when we did the reach out to the members, some members had relocated from Kampala to other places. Some members had lost jobs, and it was hard to save. Some members had also shifted because of relocation to different workplaces. Some members were just reluctant. That category was also there. They say, well, I'm okay with it, but these days I don't know why. And some members had opened accounts for children. And of course, when the hard times caught up with them, they left the children to survive fast. So those are the challenges that we had. And I request that we work towards ensuring that those challenges are reduced or members save. Because when you look at the data, the statistics we have, almost half. It's a challenge, it's a big challenge. So we need to work together. We need to work together. But for us as a community, we shall keep on designing different methods of ensuring that members come on board. Thank you, sir, Chairperson.
Good afternoon to you, members. My name is Alan Chibirige. I'm the Vice Chairperson of the Sacco, and we wish you successful deliberations and thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Donald Chirumira. I'm the treasurer of this mighty Sacco. You're welcome to our 5th AGM. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, Assistant Vicar, Reverend Moses Isabide. So members, my name is Rachel Dumba. Apologies, I hadn't mentioned my name, and I'm the chairperson. We thank God for keeping us safe to date and for seeing us through the very tough times that we had, 2020, 2021, then the first half of 2022, or even up to November 2022. We all say we are dead years because people lost relatives, they lost loved ones, they lost businesses, people were out of school. We don't know how our member Grace managed because she has a school and she remained committed even during COVID. She was paying her loan and she was saving, yet she had no students. So we want to clap for members like her who remained committed and diligent. We want to recognize our oldest and most senior member, Mr. Mwanga. He is 90. Mr. Mwanga is here, as you can see, very smart. He dressed up in a very nice kanzu and very nice suit to come for this. He is 90. Like the vicar said, he saves. He looks for money, he saves, then he comes and borrows and says, I'm going to dig cassava, I'm going to dig maize, I'm going to plant this. So we want to thank you all for being very committed. Our hearts are warmed up when we hear stories like this. We thank you for your savings. The Sacco would not be in existence without your savings. And our treasurer is going to take us through the financials, and he'll be telling us about the savings. But members, we want to close the year at 800 million. So in order for us to get to 800 million, we need each one of you to put, even if it's 10,000 a day, a week, a month, savings. There's a group in Owino that I know that has 2,000 women, and they save 2,000 shillings a day, 2,000 shillings. They have 1.2 billion in their account. Do the numbers, 2,000 women saving 2,000 shillings a day, 1,000, 2,000, not 20, 2,000. And they have 1.2 billion shillings in the bank. How long they've saved for is another story, but each of these women can borrow money. They borrow for school fees, they borrow to stock their midala, they borrow to buy ndiwota, the big ndiwota, and they cut and share in 2 groups of 5. So there are amazing stories that SACCOs can do. So please do not tire to save. We keep writing to you on the WhatsApp group and saying, save whatever amount you can give. Nothing is too little. Our loan portfolio has also grown, and our treasurer will be sharing with us how we are doing on the loans. We are doing well in terms of the recoveries, and he'll take us through the book. But we want to thank our Sacco administrator. Faith is away. Faith, if you could please come in so that people can thank you. Please clap for Faith, because she runs this Sacco on her own with us supporting her, but we all work, we all have full-time jobs. So because of the demands of the Sacco, and because we want to ensure your money continues to remain safe, and for us to be able to deploy your money safely and securely, we have taken a decision as an executive committee to hire a full-time accountant. So we are now going to hire a full-time accountant who is part certified either with CPA, SCCA, and is going to complete. Why do we say this? Because Faith is not an accountant. And Faith is extremely good at administration and at calling you and following up. And it's important that once you reach the 500 million mark, 600 million, you separate the roles. You have somebody who's calling, looking for business, selling loans, and then you have an accountant in office who is taking care of your books on a daily basis. So members, we will be reaching out to the church. We will put out an advert announcing that we will be having, we'll be recruiting an accountant. If you know anyone who can do the job, please tell them to send their CV. We will go through a proper recruitment process. We want to remind you that our offices are open for anyone to come and verify the financials presented on a monthly basis. We operate the Sacco in a transparent and professional manner. So please do not be afraid to come to office to ask if there's any question at any one time. Further details of our financial performance will be presented by our auditors, as well as in the treasurer's report as mentioned. The good news we have for you members today is that the treasurer will be announcing a dividend and interest payout as will be presented during his presentation. Please clap for that, because many SACCOs are struggling and are not earning dividends. So as we start the second half of the year, we are highly optimistic that the year will present many opportunities. The rest of the year will present many opportunities for us to grow as a Sacco as we aim for financial prosperity for all. We want to continue to grow our loan book. We want to buy land for the Sacco. This committee that you see has been busy looking for land for the last 8 months. Members, we promised that the next AGM would be on our land, but we are sorry we have not delivered because we failed to find land. We had the money, but failed to find land. So we put the money back into Britam and into loans. So if anyone knows a good plot of land, we're looking for 2 acres at least, 3 acres, not too far off the main road. We know we cannot get very close to Kampala, but as long as it's in a good area, we are happy to look at it and to negotiate with the buyers. So we want to continue to grow our loan book, buy land, increase our investment in Britam Investments. And all this is in order for us to be millionaires in Jesus' mighty name. I thank you and formally declare the meeting open. Thank you very much. We will kindly request that reaction to the chairperson's remarks is made at the end during the Q&A, because many of the comments will be reflected in the treasurer's report. So I kindly would like to invite our vice chair, who is acting secretary today, because our secretary Ivan Gita resigned and is no longer living in the country. And that is why we have a position for secretary. So I'll kindly request our vice chair to please take us through review of the previous minutes and matters arising. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. In an effort to save time, we won't read the minutes in detail. We'll just highlight what was discussed in the last general meeting, the last annual general meeting, starting with the opening prayer. The details are there. Reverend Moses Isavile started off the meeting with a prayer. And we had the communication from the chairperson, as minute number 2. And of course, apologies from the treasurer, generous at the time. She was away to attend a function in Kabale. And then acknowledging the support given by the Sacco administrator in moving the circle ahead. Then the highlights in that meeting was membership then stood at 478 members, of which 200 were highlighted as dormant members, registered, but without savings and shares. There was a request, there was an appeal to grow the loan book and reduce the interest rate to 1 percentage point at each month. Then of details invested with Britam at 63 million at 11% per annum. That has also just been spoken about by the chairperson. And Mr. Dikubye, the current head of Laity, suggested a signage be put up to direct members to the new location of the Sacco offices. And then the assignment of Mr. Apollo Omoding to tackle the growing numbers of dormant members was also discussed in that meeting. Then, of course, there was a testimony from Mr. Mwanga on how he's managed, on how the Sacco has been beneficial to his life and how he's been able to carry on at his age of 90. And there was a presentation from the external auditors, Conan Carl, represented by Mr. Wilson Biaragaba. Then the treasurer made her presentation, minute number 4. Then number 5, external auditors report, I'm repeating that with a correction. Then approvals, minute number 6, approvals of proposals to the credit lending policy. The details are also highlighted there. Then number 7, which was actually a highlight of the meeting then, was the new executive committee, where the following members were voted into office. The chairperson, Mrs. Rachel Dumba, the vice chairperson, Alan Chibirige, treasurer, Mr. Donald Chirumira, the secretary, Mr. Ivan Gita, members, Mrs. Generous Turinawe and Mr. Richard Ebolu, then supervisory committee, engineer James Herrera, and the credit committee, Mr. Edward Kwesiga, and the mobilization and education committee, Mr. Apollo Omoding. Then members of the Sacco were urged as evidence to post their testimonies on the Sacco forum to share the benefits and how the Sacco has been beneficial to their activities, to their business activities and to their lives. Then there was a comment from the clergy representative. And the members were told the church is a community. Members were reminded that the church is a community of believers, and therefore we should take care of the needs of the members. And the meeting was called off, was adjourned with a word of prayer from Reverend Isabige at 10 minutes past 6 that day. And the matters that arose and the matters arising that day, there was signage to the clear location of the circle. As matters arising, issue number 1. And issue number 2 was more aggressive mobilization and marketing of the circle. Committee was urged to encourage their family members to join the circle, and each member was requested to bring at least 2 members to join the circle. Number 3, contact dormant and inactive members. This has been ongoing, and we'll get an update as the treasurer makes his reports and gives us the statistics on what is happening to the dormant members in that area. Then issue number 4 was to buy 5 acres of land in Wakiso, and that was assigned to the entire committee with the staff led by the chairperson. An update has just been presented by the chairperson, and get Momo and Airtel pay lines or any other alternative payment method. This was sorted, and I think this is active. Many of the members are using that, are using those new methods of payment. Get an alternative accounting software. This was also done. An update is going to be given by the treasurer. And then annual contribution. This is the annual service fee that is supposed to be contributed by each member. Subscription of 20,000 shillings by each member. Then introducing a joint account saving product, which is also, that has also been sorted, and the treasurer will give details on how that is going to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair and Acting Secretary. We thank you very much for that. And members, do we have any reaction to the minutes? And could we please, in case we don't have any comments or changes to make to the minutes, could we please have someone move for adoption of the minutes as presented and a second person seconding? The people who move need to have been present that day. So please remember whether or not you attended the meeting, because you need to confirm that it's a true reflection of what was discussed in the meeting then. Anybody who was here last year to move for adoption of the minutes? And here the committee members can move since they were there then. Anybody on the floor to move for adoption? Anybody who was there last year? Faith, any familiar faces? Yes, there's someone. Please tell us your name.
Good afternoon, members. My good name is Peter Adaku.
We can't see you. Do you mind kindly standing up? Thank you.
Good afternoon, members.
Good afternoon.
My good name is Peter Adaku. And I propose we adopt the minutes.
Thank you very much.
Gone through it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adaku. And somebody to second him. A seconder for the minutes. Somebody who was here last year. And this is where any of the committee members can second, as long as they were there last year.
Thank you so much, Chair. My name is Omoding Apollo. I second the minutes to be adopted.
Thank you very much, Committee Member Apollo. Members, our minutes have been adopted and will be signed and filed. Thank you, members. We're now moving on to our fourth agenda item. And members, I would like to propose a variation in our presentation because our external auditors are here, Faith. Is that correct? The external auditors, ideally the external audit report should happen first. We receive it and then we allow them to go. And then we go into our internal reporting because our treasurer is going to report. The external auditors are going to tell us our performance as at December 2022, whilst our treasurer is going to talk to us about our performance since we started to date. So members, with your permission, would like to switch the two items and kindly request our external auditors to please come and present their financials, our financials as audited by them. Thank you very much. I hope this has been approved by you members. By show of hands, could we see those who are in agreement of the change? We are not dropping any of their items. We are just moving them around. And those who are not in agreement with a reason. Okay, we have none in disagreement. So members, please join me in welcoming our external auditors to make a presentation. Thank you very much. You're most welcome, sir. Is the presentation up already?
Guest of honor, the chairperson, but the religious leaders present, then the distinguished committee members, the political wing, in case is represented here, members body, the staff of the Sacco, ladies and gentlemen. So on behalf of the external auditors body, allow me to present the performance, the position, and the cash flows of the year that was under the audit, which is 2022. By names, CPA Calistum Cimenta, the managing partner of Corner and Color Associates, the appointed auditors through the Sacco. I came around with one of our staff, Mr. Inembabas Chris. Can stand up for recognition. So in most cases, when we are presenting, because the Sacco is embedded with many people who are in different fields, some in accounting, others are in different fields. So we normally explain to them why there is a need for Sacco audit. One, the need for Sacco audit is that they need an independent person to verify what has been done by the people inside, the staff and other people. Then another one is see what they are doing. Are they following with the international accounting standards? You see, in most cases, everything that is done, it has a standard in our field of audit and accounting. So we see what is done, is it in conformity with those international accounting standards. Then another one, we do advisory services to the management and the staff. That one we do it by giving out a management report alongside the audit report. And that one is basically for management, showing the weaknesses, then the possible solutions, and possibly what they recommend according to them. So in brief, this one I'm just explaining because we are involved by many classes of people in different fields. So I wouldn't rush figures like in a minute, others will get confused. So which method do we use to audit? Or the methodology. Now the method we use, we get the records of the Sacco. Records include like the cash book, the bank statements, the loan documents, the savings documents. So we review them. Are they done in conformity with the Sacco rules or what you passed on the last AGM? For example, if you had said that a loan should pass this procedure to be given out, are they following that procedure? In case they are not following on it, we report on it. So if savings are to be passed in this way, did management pass that procedure to give out those savings? Or are people bringing saving the way it should be done? So basically that entails a whole background of audit. So as I finish the methodology, so what were the summary of our findings, or what did we find? Now, our findings, we normally give them in different forms. One, we give it in terms of financial performance. How did your assets, the money you have invested, accumulated profit, accumulated or loss, sometimes accumulated loss? Then the second one, what is your financial position? How much is wealthier the Sacco is in terms of assets, in terms of liabilities? Then, and another one, we also report on basically if there is any cash flow challenge. How did the cash move out throughout the year? So we also report on it. So in brief, we are starting with how did the Sacco perform during the year? When we are comparing these circles, we normally compare the first year. For example, the audit was for 2022, January, December. How did you perform in 2021 compared to 2022? See whether maybe there is some difference. And if there is a much gap, we also compare what about the other years behind. Now, for example, here, the income for the Sacco increased 61 million in 2022 from 36 million from 2021. That is presenting a 40% increase. So we see that income 61, 36. So the income increased by 40%, meaning that the Sacco, there is some progress in in income generation. All members took loans, others registered membership, which prompted the income to increase. Then the expenditure in the same line, it increased from 20, it increased to 20 million in 2022 from 12 million in 2021. Of course, you cannot increase income and you don't increase expenditure. But what matters, at what length is increasing. So expenditure itself, it increased at a percentage of 64%. Then the profit in 2022 was 40 million compared to 2021, which was 24. It increased by 39. So basically, an external auditor's body, we can see that there is progress in what? In every activity that the Sacco is moving, in terms of income generating and in terms of profit maximization. Because at the end of the day, we expect the Sacco to make profit. And of course, we are normally worried if it makes losses because it's people's money. They are using those savings and shares to borrow to people and earn money. So meaning if you make a loss, you are tampering on someone's saving, which means that anytime a person will come in request of the savings, but will not find any. So we are normally concerned at the performance, basically profit making. Then, as I told you, we also go on the financial position. How wealthy is the Sacco? And on financial position, we basically look at major activities like loans, shares, and the savings, because those are the three things that basically make the Sacco. Now, on the loan side, the loan is increased to 495 million in 2022 from 115 million, presenting an increase of 70%. So loans increased tremendously. And when we see that they increase tremendously, we are normally concerned how is the Sacco financing those loans? Where did the Sacco get money to finance those loans? Now, we go to its sister of savings, because most money in savings is the one that is put into loans. That's why I told you that we as auditors, we are normally concerned making profit from people's money. So savings increased also 370 in 2022 from 135 million from 2021. So if you correlate, you can see that the money in loans is almost taking much percentage of savings. Of course, our auditors now, we say now it is okay, because there is no any other loan that is financing. There is no any other loan from external financiers that is financing the loans to members. Then when you got shares, they are still a bit low. In 2022, it was 112 million from 80 million in 2021. So at least for shares, there is a small margin. So as we analyze those, normally on presentation, we give summaries because of time, because I saw I was given 10 minutes and it's almost elapsed. So from all those findings, the report is normally big, only that we summarize at this point. We give our opinion. So what is your opinion as an external person? Because you are not attached to maybe to the circle. So we expect an opinion from auditors to be just independent as you hear. Now, from our opinion as auditors, we stated it like this. In our opinion, accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the circle as at 31st December 2019. Meaning, we didn't find anything that can affect the circle operations. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. I'm trying to beat up time. So I will, in case of any compliment, any question, if there is time, you will inquire. Otherwise, thank you very much. I thank you.
Thank you very much, auditors. We thank you, and members, we apologize. We did not share this with you earlier before for you to be able to read and internalize them, but Faith will recirculate them. At this point in time, we kindly call for questions. If there are any questions to the auditors before our treasurer comes to present his own internal report, because we'd want to release our auditors. Would like to thank you very much for a job well done. We thank you for the detail that you went through. We received a management letter, but management letters do not typically come to the AGM because that is a management issue to deal with. And we are committing to resolve all the issues that were raised in the management letter. So please join me in clapping for our external auditors who we were satisfied with in terms of the quality of the work that they did. Members, do we have any questions at this point in time? Any comments? Okay, in case there are none, could we please have someone move for adoption for us to receive? Could someone please move for us to receive the financials as presented by receive and approve the financials as presented by our external auditors, and somebody to second them? Anybody to please, and remember, you're going to go away with these documents and we're going to email them as well to you, as well as put them on the WhatsApp group. So in case you have any questions that come out afterwards, please do not hesitate to reach out. Although at that point in time, we cannot change the financials once the AGM has already approved and adopted them. Do we have anybody who would like to please move for adoption? Mr. Mwanga? A microphone, please. Yes, Sebo.
Njagala okutegeeza abamemba abali wano nti nina ekizibu oba nina ebizibu bibiri. Siwulira bulungi, kyengamba okuwulira ate neerabira mangu. Ne ogwo si musango. Kasita Mukama akyampadde okubeera.
Amen.
waliwo gye mbadde nnina okubeera ssaawa 8 naye ng'ate ne wano ssaawa 8 naye olwokubanga Sacco gyempa ekitiibwa ekisinga kubanga yentuusizza wendi nenjagala nsooke wano
Amina.
bategeezeeko era nyanga kukibategeeza buli lwe nayimukanga wano nze kitange ne mmange bafa ndi mulenzi muto wa myaka 8 naye njagala okubategeeza nti Sacco ye yantuusa wano wendi sirina mu Uganda we simanyi kubanga nasomako katono naye mmanyi buli kyuma ky'emmwanyi we kiri mu Uganda.
Amina.
Kiseera ekyo nga sinnawummula. Sacco taata nga bwe mbagambye taata ne maama omu yafa mu mwaka gwa 5 omulala mwaka 51 nga nina emyaka nga 8 9 awo. Naye taata omuto mu luzungu byonna bonna ankoko naye taata omuto mukyala we yandabirira nnyo yatuyigiriza okukola baalina emmwanyi naye nga tubeera mu kuwummula tugenda ntunoga emmwanyi ne batwala mu cooperative era nze sente ze nasomerako zaali za cooperative nga bwe tutwalayo emmwanyi ekusoma bwe kutuuka taata yali asigaddewo n'agenda n'ajjayo sente ne tugenda mu ssomero oba tututa emmwanyi ntono naye nga Sacco etuyamba ne tujjayo sente ne tugenda mu ssomero y'ensonga lwaki njagala nnyo Sacco era bwe nava mu ssomero cooperative yali ewaffe nagiyingiramu mu mwaka gwange ogusooka ebweru nga mmaze essomero obusente bwe nasooka okufuna ne ntandika okubeera mu cooperative kaakati ffe gye tugamba Sacco era eyansomesa era Sacco eyo oba cooperative eyo yesomesezza n'abazzukulu abasinga bonna bali mu America n'omuzzukulu omuto akyaliwo bamuwadde ekifo e Makerere abadde muno yabatirizibwa wano asomedde wano bamuwadde ekifo e Makerere asome obusawo. Ebweru ninayo abazzukulu 3 ababiri balooya ababiri basawo naye nga ebyo byonna byava mu Sacco era bagireeta Sacco wano simanyi oba nali namba nnya sikyajjukira bulungi namba emu correct kubanga nali mmanyi omugaso gwayo n'okutuusa kati njagala okwebaza mmwe abali mu Sacco munkoze bulungi nnyo kubanga ku myaka gyange 9 gye nina n'emyezi 6 sikyajja wano kusimba layini nti njagala sente nkuba simu abange ngendako mu ddwaliro oyagala sente mmeka bwezi nga pasuma driver nga oba simanyi omukyalo oyo bamuyitaani Faith nga jajja katuleete nga bakola empapula nga bazindeetera nga nsayininga nga ne sente bazireese mubakubireko mu ngalo bankoze bulungi nnyo tebanjuza buli lwe mbajjagala sente oba ngenda mu ddwaliro nga sirina nga bampereza ate munnange yali tannawummula yagamba tetusabanga abaana sente kubanga nabo bana ebizibu byabwe era ffe Sacco ye mukwano gwaffe era ye mukwano gwange mujja kunsonyiwa nandaze nnyo naye ng'ago ge mazima mmwe bannanga bali mu Sacco obusente mubuteeke mu Sacco ngezi kubanga bwe mba ngenda mu banka eri bansimbya layini ne maama mu Sacco wano sisimba layini kama yebaza.
Webale nnyo webalire ddala mwami Muwanga. Let's clap for Mr. Muwanga. Mwami Muwanga wali namba emu wetwaggulawo we were registering at number 1. So tukwebaza nnyo ssebo. That was a powerful testimony from Mr. Muwanga, and as you can see, he said he had to go somewhere, but he started with the Sacco. and he's going. So members, we are looking at our clock. Some people had already told us they also have to leave, and we do not want to keep you any longer. So if we can please go back to adoption of the financials, receipt of the financials, and then we can release the external auditors to go. Anybody to move for receipt, for us to receive and approve the financials? There's a microphone nearby. There's someone here in the front. Somebody to move and a second person to second. Please tell us your name.
My name is Jennifer Ann Mugisha. Chair, I would like to move that we adopt the auditor's report. Adopt and approve the auditor's report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Anne. We appreciate that. Somebody to second her. Thank you.
Toria Singular Gloria, I second her.
Thank you very much, Ms. Turia Singura. We appreciate. Thank you very much, members. We will now give our external auditors permission to leave if they will, or if you want to stay and listen to the internal treasurer's report, we're happy for you to stay. You will leave. It's a Saturday. We have to allow you to go back to your Saturday life. Thank you very much for coming. Faith, have we got tea yet so that we receive tea? It's coming. Okay. If we could please tell them to hurry. We could have taken a 2 minutes break, but we will now welcome our treasurer. Thank you very much, auditors, and see you next time. Thank you. Members, apologies, our tea is not here yet, so we cannot have a break, but we will now invite our treasurer. Mr. Mwanga is leaving. Please let's clap for him. Mami Mwanga, tukwebaza nnyo sebo. At 90 and still very strong. May the good Lord keep him stronger. Amen. So we are now moving on to agenda item number 5, since number 4 was external auditor's report, and we'll kindly hand over to the treasurer now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Once again, you're welcome to our 5th annual general meeting. As already highlighted, my name is Donald Chirumira, the treasurer of the Sacco. I hope everybody has received the treasurer's report, and it's also it's going to be displayed on the projector. Before I go any further, I've received one question from online, which I promised to attend to at the end of my presentation. In case you have any questions, please raise them at the end of the presentation. Thank you. So this year's AGM comes at a time when the government of Uganda is coming up with incentives for the Sacco to realize their growth and also the growth of their members. Even though we have not yet fully felt the impact, that's the parish development model, but we are capable and we are doing well at safeguarding the earnings that we received from our members and the savings. In this year that we're talking about, that is 2022, we've been able to achieve significant growth in both the asset base and the loan base. We've been able to realize income of up to 36% increment. We have also realized other incomes. So other incomes, these are the income we received from our investments, the incomes we received from penalties, and any donations, if any. Those ones have grown at a percentage rate of 123%. You should note that these other incomes mainly are affected by liquidity. Whenever we do not have cash, this number doesn't grow because it is the savings and shares that we use to reinvest. As I will earlier note that this year we have a dividend payout and we've realized an increase in the dividends that we are going to share. Last year, we shared dividend at 8%, and I'm proud to tell you that this year we are sharing dividend at 10.5%. The loan processing period has also shortened. Now we have an average of at least 2 working days. But we know that for some people, we've received loans less than 2 days. I don't know, a member here, the look on her face seems not in agreement. I don't know if she has an experience that she will share later, but yeah, the loan processing days, an average of 2 days. We were able to procure a new accounting software for the Sacco, and this has been able to help us to do the admin role, the savings role, and the loans role. You should believe with me that we are receiving monthly statements on your emails, and if you are not receiving, please update your email with the administrator, and also receive instant SMSs when an activity happens on your account. That's if you make a loans payment, savings deposit, or share purchase. You receive an instant SMS. In the event that you do not receive any of those, please update your contact number with the administrator. This year, Sacco deposits have grown to a tune of 367 million. And as a result of this growth, we are declaring interest on the deposits of 10.5%. From last year, it was 8. We are receiving interest on the deposits on 10.5%. And I should be proud to tell you that this rate we are declaring is over and above the average rate for most unit trusts and investment groups. This is over and above the average rate in 2022. We are hopeful that with the continued investment and diversification of income and improvement in the quality of our loans, the Sacco will be able to offer higher returns in the future. Our Sacco share capital base per member remains very low, averagely at 200,000 per member. But if we can hit this up to at least on an average of 500,000 share amount per member, we shall be able to hit our target. This one, I want to throw more light. I'm not saying that every member has shares of only 200,000. No, this is an average. We have members who have shareholding of more than 1 million shillings. We have members who have shareholding of only 20,000. So the average of all our members runs at approximately 200,000 shareholding. But I'm asking if we can grow this to at least an average of 500,000. That means the lowest number, the lowest amount of shareholding per member should be within the bracket of 500,000. We should be able to hit our target. Remember, the target that's set by our chairperson is to hit at least 800 million, and this we can get. During the year that I just ended, when I say the year, I mean 2022, we had a loan growth rate of 216%. This equates to 491.6 million. These are the loans that have been disbursed in 2022. 2021, we disbursed loans of up to 155.7 million. We see that increment, and cumulative figure of all loans disbursed from when we started now lies at 1.2 billion shillings. We urge members to support management and also the board with the collections effort. I am positive that with your joint efforts, we shall grow this circle where we need it to be, and we shall reap more benefits. The graph, sorry, it's not projected, but we have a graph that shows membership growth. The dark color shows the active members, and the lighter color shows the dormant members. If you look at the graph from 2019 to 2022, the active members have been growing. However, the dormant members are also growing. Kino kiba kitegeeza nti abali active abasasula sente, abali active tutegeeza nga asasula sente za savings, bw'aba atutte looni, asasula shares, nga account eri active, bakuze. Naye ate n'abali dormant, bebo nga yasasula omulundi gumu n'asirika n'abivaako, yasasula shares n'abivaako, yaleeta omulundi gumu n'abivaako. Abo nabo bakula mwaka ku mwaka. Kino nno tulina kinogera eddagala, kubanga last year we had 154 dormant members, but this year 2022 we have 264 dormant members. Kitegeeza about 100 or so members have been dormant in 2022. So this is a call to ourselves, to all our families. If you know somebody who was a member and they've since been dormant, please tap them, remind them this is collective growth. As the chairperson always tells us, Sacco is a game of numbers. The more active members we have, the more growth we shall realize. Singa buli omu abeera active, n'oleeta akatono k'olina, tujja kutuuka ku kyengedde nga bwe basinga boogera. Graph Edako, the next graph shows loans and deposits. Excuse me. The darker graph shows the loans, the light graph shows deposits. It is impressive that from 2020 to 2022, we are on an increment level. We've increased our loans and we've increased our deposits. However, our deposits are not growing to the same tune as our loans. In 2022, our loans are shooting to almost 500 million, but the savings are below 400 million. So that means there is some work to do for us. And us, I mean everybody. This is collective for us because kino ekintu kyaffe. This is our circle. This is our baby. We need to see it grow, and it can grow. I will run through the financial statements high level because the previous auditor, Azogedeko, the loan to members for this year alone, we've registered 491 million. Those are the loans we've given out to members. Cash and bank, that is the cash we had as at 31st December. It was 56 million. And other investments, that is the Britam investment, at 10.8 million. So somebody might ask why the drop from 61 million to 10.8. This is because in December, we had an increment of members needing the money. And this is your money. We cannot say no whenever you need a loan. So we liquidated some of our assets in Britam and we got more cash to give out to the loans. That's why you've seen the loans increasing. The share capital has also increased. Those are the shareholding for every member who registers or increases on their shareholding, and the members' deposits have increased. Members' deposits, these are the savings that you give us. The savings have increased from 136 million to 367 million. The profit and loss statement indicates interest income alone. Interest income is 33 million and other income is 28 million. Interest income is the income we register on the loans. So whenever we give out loans, and you pay, the interest you pay is what we record. So that means for those who have taken loans and you've not yet paid, that interest is not yet registered here. We only registered interest that has been paid off the loans. And we registered profit after tax of 40.5 million. This is almost double from the 24 million that we had last year. In terms of percentage changes, the revenues have increased at 36%. Other incomes have increased at 123%. Allow me to throw more light on this one. Other incomes include the annual subscription that was introduced in 2022, the fines and penalties that are levied on late payments and non-compliance, and also income from Britain. Now, the other incomes are increasing, which is good for the Sacco, and the Sacco is benefiting. However, this is alarming because if the other incomes are increasing, that means the fines and penalties are increasing. And if the fines and penalties are increasing, that means so many of our members are defaulting. Our interest is not to see the fines and penalties increasing. Let other income increase, but with subscription fee, with income from the investments. But whenever it increases with fines and penalties, it is alarming. That means mulimu bannaffe bangi abatwala loan ne batagisasula mu budde. Tutegerekese. So that is a flag to the risk committee to check that out. Nti incomes are increasing, but it should be a flag that so many people are defaulting. The admin expenses have also increased 65, which is ideally in line with the incomes. And allow me to pause here to answer the question of one of our member online who asked that, it was asked by Atukunda JK. They asked, what does that mean in terms of expenditure? Do we spend more than we get? Kwegamba atunulide percentage changes zetu auditors yayogeddeko ng'abuuza nti kitegeeza tuspendinga sente nyingi okusinga zetufuna. So I'm here to answer that percentage change erimu expenses ne percentage change erimu income. So the change in expenses zidabulinze but teziyisiza income. So the expenses have not yet gone over and above our income. So we are not spending beyond our limit. But if you had expenses, last year you had 2, and this year you have expenses of 4, the percentage change will be 100%. But if you had income of 4 last year, and you had income of 5 this year, the percentage change will be 50% because you've not doubled. But it doesn't mean you've exceeded your expenses. I hope I've answered her. And in the event JK feels I've not answered her, please register another question on the online platform. I will go to the budget forecast. The page has the budget forecast that has the actuals for 2022. It has 6 months to date, that is up to June 2023, and where we want to be as at end of 2023, that is December 2023. Loans have grown. If you consider the 6 months we've gone so far, January to December, we've registered loans of 364 million. This is almost 70% of what was done last year. So if we urge more members to come and take up loans, we shall have an increased number. The estimate is if we can double what we've done so far, we shall be registering 700 million as at the end of the year. And the more loans we take, the more interest we shall get, because whenever you're paying this loan, you are paying this small interest. And when you pay this small interest, we shall invest it and we shall get more interest at the end of 2023. The more deposits so far, we are at 158 million. These are the savings. Remember, we had a drive to bring in our family members. We urged everyone, alina family member, omwami, omuchala, omwana, omugulirewo account, to save more and more. So far, we are at 158 million as at June. So if we double this and we hit last year, the target is to hit more over and above last year's, and we can make it because, I mean, we are a group of so many individuals who are focused, and we can achieve this goal. The estimates for 2023, if we go as per what we've done for the actuals of the 6 months, January to June, if we continue with this pace, we estimate to have dividend share of 32% for 2023. If we continue at the same pace, what we've done January to June, if we do it again in these next 6 months, we shall be receiving interest on deposits of at least not less than 20%. So I urge you members, let's continue rolling the ball. Let's continue saving. Let's continue taking up the loans. We shall hit and we shall get more dividends and more savings. Thank you. Kyentegeezezza wano nti bwe tuperforminga nga bwe tuperforminze emyezi 6 egiyise eja 2023. Bwe tweyongerayo mu July ono paka December, tujja kuba tusobola okufuna amagoba amangi ku migabo gyaffe. Tujja kufuna amagoba ga 32%, ebitundu 32 ku buli 100 ku migabo gyo. Ate era tukuwe ne interest ku savings wo of 20%. So bwe tweyongerayo nga bwe tukoze, tugambye nti okuva mu January paka mu June twakagaba loan million 364. Ba members bakasavinga million 158. Bwe tweyongerayo n'eyo pace ne tukikola mu guno omwezi myezi egibulayo, that is July paka December, tujja kuba tusobola okugabana emigabo egisingawo. At least dividend tujja kuba tusobola okugabana ebitundu 32 ku 100, ate interest tujja kuba tugabana 20%. Eyo interest ne banka tegigaba. Naye ffe bwe tweyongera nga bwe tutambudde, mbabuulira tujja kugifuna, tujja gigaba. Chairperson talked of the investments for 2023. Investments ze tutunuulidde, zino investments twazikkaanyaako, twazikiriza dda, era ziri in progress. Tutunuulira ettaka ery'okugula land. Twagala kugula ettaka lya mirundi 2. Ettaka lye tunaagula tulitereke, lifune value, tulitunde, tufunemu sente nyingi. N'ettaka lye tunaagula tulisalemu plots, tuliguze bammemba baffe. Mujjukira Reverend yatuwadde example of why Reverend ne Chairperson yatuwadde example of why save. Bagenda ne bagula acres nyingi in an area, ne bazigabanyamu, and their members bought land. Imagine buying land in Namugongo and you're paying in installments. Kubanga ne bano ba broker b'amataka normally bakuwa myezi 3 obeere ng'ozimazeeyo. Naye bwe tunaagula ettaka lino ne tuligabanyamu plots, ojja kuba nga atutte looni y'ettaka eryo, osasule in a period longer than 3 months. Simanyi oba munfuna. Osobole okuba ng'olina ettaka in a very prime land, in a very prime area. Weewaawo Wow. Tusuubira okutandika treasury bills and also this half that is remaining, and also to go into other unit trusts so that we diversify our investments. Treasury, treasury bills and bonds. Excuse me. Treasury bills and bonds, mpozi okuzinnyonnyolako. Treasury bills and bonds is where you are doing business with Bank of Uganda. N'okwata ssente n'oziwola Bank of Uganda mu kwogera okwangu. Bw'oziwola Bank of Uganda kuba tukimanyi Bank of Uganda tegenda kuvaawo nkya. Teri nga manerenda gw'oziteresezza. Eyo investment y'ekyasinza okuba secure. So bw'oteekayo ssente zino n'oziwola Bank of Uganda for a period of time, amagoba gajja butereevu. Eyo investment eri 100% secure kubanga oli ayinza okubuuza nti gavumenti bw'ekyuka. Gavumenti ne bw'ekyuka, Bank of Uganda esigalawo. Kubanga Bank of Uganda si ya muntu kinnoomu. Bank of Uganda is for Uganda as a country. So when you invest in treasury bills and bonds, you are 100% sure it is risk-free. You will get your money at the end of the tenure. But all this can happen if we have more savings, if we have more shareholdings. Thank you very much. That's the end of my report.
Members, thank you. Please clap for our treasurer again. Thank you very much. Thank you, our honorable treasurer. That was very detailed and very good. A lot to take in such a short time. And I'm sure people will have comments, questions. We have received some comments online that we've been following. We please continue to keep your questions coming through and your comments. The good news is that our treasurer works with PwC, one of the big 4 accounting and audit firms. So whatever he's talking about, he practices on a daily basis. He is not fidgeting with his words or fidgeting with what he's supposed to do. He's a certified accountant. And so he has looked at our books. He sits down with Faith on a regular basis and he makes sure that our books are reporting accurately. So we thank you very much, Treasurer. At this point in time, we kindly request for any comments that you have on the financials before we move to adopt and receive the Treasurer's report. To receive and adopt the Treasurer's report. Do we have any comments, any questions? We have shared this report online as well on WhatsApp. Please ask questions in case everything is too much at this point in time and there's an overflow of information. And we do not want to keep people waiting for long. But if you have any questions, please raise them. Yes, Mr. Chibowa. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chibowa, a member. Historical.
Yes.
I'm a historical member.
Yes, you are.
The question I want to put to that, I want first to thank the treasurer for such a good report. But I wanted to know whether, his figures and calculations, does he factor in the rate of inflation? Because from 2021 up to now, 2022, there has been, at least inflation has been growing at a rate of about from 8 to 10%.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chibowa. We'll ask the treasurer to please respond to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chibowa, for your question. To answer you, yes, we factor in inflation. That's why we always make sure the interest payout we give you is over and above the rate of inflation in Uganda. Currently, the rate of inflation is about 7%. It's expected to grow to 9% by the end of 2023. And by end of 2023, we shall not be anywhere below 15% payout. So yes, we factor in inflation and we make sure we do not go below inflation because we are investing in trustworthy investors who we are sure that our returns will come in fully. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Treasurer. There's a comment that's coming online. I think from Hudson online, he says, I think there's need to check our expenditure because the difference in percentage growth is relatively big. So this you have already commented on that, why there appears to be a huge expense, admin expenses in the financials. So this comment has been noted and we continuously want to grow our book. Like the Treasurer explained, unless you grow your business, your expenses will always appear there extremely high. So we're not growing our interest income as much. We're not receiving enough savings from you. We're not growing as expected. And so that's why the gap between interest and interest income and expense is narrowing. So in order for it to be broader, is we need to grow the bottom line. But the Treasurer has already spoken to it. And as a team, we are alert and alive to the fact that we must look for new business. We must look for new ideas that are going to give us money whilst making sure your money is safe. There are people who will come to us and say, can you lend us money at 30% per month? It looks very attractive, but are you going to get that money back? If a money lender comes to you and says, give me your money, I'm going to lend it out. What guarantee do you have that you're going to take it, that you're going to get this money back? And some people as well have come to us and said, can I give you my car logbook and you give me a loan? Members, we have continuously said that we will not take securities on loans. People have asked us to take land titles. We know banks that have failed to sell land because the moment you take someone's land, they put a caveat, then the grandmother comes, the grandfather, the aunties, everybody says, we did not know he had put our family land, even though he's the one on the land. And everybody who's tried to handle a land dispute, in Uganda knows that the person who is in the wrong will always win the case when it's you who is supposed to be taking your land. So we are not taking security because logbooks are automated, are online. If we take your car, then you can go and change your logbook online immediately without us having access to it. And we do not want to park cars here in the car park. Who is going to look after them? Who's going to start them every day? Who's going to ensure the tires are not stolen? So members, please bear with us. We're not taking any form of security. Some people have brought, so the form of security we now take are personal guarantees from members. So many people have taken out amounts that they wouldn't even take. Last week, someone took out 30 million to buy land, but the person only had 10 million in savings and someone else guaranteed them 20 million. So it's possible to take out the money, but please bring a member who has savings and who is not going to borrow at that particular point in time. So members, our tea has arrived and we want to be able to have a cup of tea before we break off or just after we break off, and it's 4:30 already. We are cognizant of the people online and we still have 2 critical agenda items that we'd like to look at. So could we kindly just have one person move for us to receive and adopt the Treasurer's report and another person to second? Any volunteers? We have a microphone. There's someone behind. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Before we adopt that, thank you, Treasurer, for the clarification. But I wanted to talk about the shares because we are still as low as 200,000. So we are urged to top something to raise to 500,000. So is this 500,000 per annum or per month?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So the shares that we have are not 200,000. I want to first make this clear. It's not that everybody has 200,000. No. Some people have more than 200,000. Some people have 1,000,000 shillings in shares. However, other people have even shares of 100,000 or 50,000. So when we did the math, on average, that is the cost of shares, averagely. And we are saying, if on average, at least we have 500,000, that means it's a call upon each one of us to increase their shareholding. The shares you have are not per month or per year. It is your shareholding. If ideally it is your equity in the Sacco, it is your ownership or stake in the Sacco. So if you had last year, you had 200,000 and you are saying increase more and you bring another 1 million. So your stake in the Sacco will be 1.2. Even next year, even the other year, if you do not increase. So it's not monthly, it's not annually. It's not that next year you will start at 0. No. This is your Sacco, it is your ownership, it's still existing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Treasurer. And to add to that, members, this year we are paying interest of 25.1% on shares. What that means, if you have 2 shares of only 40,000, you're going to get 25% of 40,000. But someone who had their 3-4 million in the shares is going to get 25%. Do you see what that means? That's an additional 2 million shillings. So we want to encourage you to buy shares. There are people who come every Sunday and they say, I want to buy 1 share. 20,000 they buy. In 4 Sundays, you have 4 shares, 80,000. A year, 80 times 12. Before you know it, your shareholding has grown. Interest on deposits on your savings is 10.5. And this is on a monthly basis. So we prorate it. If you had 0 money in January to November, then in December you put 10 million, you will not get 10.5 on that 10 million. It will be prorated over the 12 months. Are we together? So we encourage you to buy shares. There's a Sacco where I am, and I'm in a certain Sacco, and in this Sacco, at the start of the year, the AGM passed a resolution. They deduct automatically 200,000 from everyone's savings for shares to force you to buy shares. So they say, because shares are what buy your long-term investments, your 3-year bonds, your land, that is the money we need to buy the long-term investments. Savings go into loans and this quick money that we are able to return. So members, remember a share is only 20,000. Each one of us is supposed to have a minimum of 5 shares. So what some people did is they just bought those 5 and they forgot about it. Now we are saying, please come every Sunday, bring 20,000, bring 40, keep buying 1 share. You will be surprised how you will end up having 1,000 shares. So total as a church, as a Sacco, we have 100,000 shares. Nobody can own more than 1/3 of the shares, meaning you can buy up to 30,000 shares. But nobody has 30,000 shares yet. Nobody has 1,000. Everybody is still 2, 3, 10, 5. So members, we encourage you to please, and maybe next year we should also discuss the aspect of encouraging you to deduct from your savings. You sign and you tell us at the start of the year, remove 100,000 from my savings to buy 5 shares. And maybe that's something that we should look at in the next AGM. So members, thank you so much. We need to kindly move on to the next agenda item. Could we please receive and adopt the Treasurer's report? A volunteer? Members in the front, anyone? There's a microphone there.
Thank you so much for this quite well-explained, articulated piece of work. Takes a lot of time and burning the candles. I would imagine that if given this to me, I would take so many years. I'm not even financially so literate. I'm in the physical and biological science area. So my name is Dr. Simon Peter Murut, one of the members here. I would like to, because of the interest of time, to move a motion that we adopt the treasurers so that we can go to the next agenda. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Simon Peter, and thank you for joining us and for being with us today. Could someone second? Thank you.
My name is Tujaiba Wilson, Managing Director, Kete Estates. We deal in buying and selling land. I want to second the adaptation of the Treasurer's report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member Wilson. Wilson has been a member with us for the last 4 years. He attends, yes, 4 years. He attends every AGM, but Wilson, you promised us land as a Sacco. So we are now going to disturb you because we have a member who has written a book. He's written a book on real estate. 2 books. 1 book. Yes, he has written a book on real estate. So we need to be able to tap into his expertise. Thank you, members. We now would like to move to the appointment, election of a treasurer, of a secretary. And we have a member, Fiona Magezi, who is going to take us through this process. We'll allow just 10 minutes for this. Looking at the time, it's now 4:30. And in order for us to allow time for testimonies and Q&A. Faith, is the video for testimonies ready? Okay. And has it been circulated on the WhatsApp group as well? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, members. Please clap for our member, Ms. Fiona Magezi, who is going to take us through the next phase.
Good afternoon, Executive Committee and fellow members. So as our chairperson advised, our secretary resigned from his position. So today we need to get somebody to take on that role as secretary. I believe we all got a copy of one of the documents that was picked up when we were registering, the one entitled Available Posts. So we'll go to the point where we're looking at the secretary. So I'll go through the roles of what a secretary will do, and then I'll go through as well as what kind of person we are looking out for. So the responsibilities of the secretary are to give a notice of a 21 days written notice for the annual general or special general meeting, including statement of the business to be brought before the meeting. Record the minutes of the management, board of directors, subcommittees. I'm on page 3. Special general meetings that contain the date, time, place of the meeting, and a record of material discussions and all decisions. Meeting minutes should be included in names of the members present, just like a copy of the minutes that we got for the last AGM. Ensure that minutes are verified by the presiding officer of the meeting and are made public within 1 week of each of the meetings. Ensure that minutes are confirmed at the next meeting and that copies of thereof sent to the chairperson or his or her representative and any other members of the Sacco. Serve as a signatory to the checks and other accountable documents and do any other assignment assigned by the board of directors. Obtain and make available to the membership prior to the election the following information for each prospective official: professional background and education, prior service on a similar committee or board, or relevant skills would of course be appreciated. Create and review all information to be shared to the public and the Sacco members, and create, keep and all required Sacco documents. Those are the responsibilities of the secretary. So what kind of person are we looking out for? First and foremost, the person should be a born again with sound Christian values, must have at least 2 recommendations from the Sacco members. The person must be an active member of the Sacco with a clean record, must have a good record of loan performance, not amongst the defaulters, demonstrate leadership skills and experience, skills in the analysis of financial statements and reports, basic laws on cooperatives, and particularly those that are related to the management of financial cooperatives, knowledge and commitment to cooperative and Sacco principles and philosophy, capacity to understand and conduct performance analysis on prudential guidelines, asset liability management, credit management, including policy formulation and loan tracking. I'm on page 3 at the top. Savings, promotion, marketing of financial services, interpersonal skills, including communication skills, team player and builder, personal honesty, integrity, including incorruptible, willingness and availability to serve on voluntary basis, must be flexible to attend committee and subcommittee meetings at the request of the committee. So that's the kind of person that we are looking out for as the Sacco. Previously, like we know, for the people or for the executive, I think we had prior notice for them to be able to volunteer and be vetted, but the person for the post for the secretary, we are going to vet them here and now. So the request is for anyone who would want to take up that post to raise up their hand. Preferably, if we could get 3 people, then we will vote. So please, if you feel the Spirit has led you to, to be the secretary, please raise your hand. And after you raise your hand, please make sure that you have 2 recommenders within the board, within the members that are present here. You will tell us about yourself, then we will vote. And I think now we have like 7 minutes to go.
Yeah. Just to point out, and the treasurer was asking me, thank you very much, Miss Fiona. The treasurer was asking if we can recommend, even this committee can put up their hand and recommend one of you. So even any of you can recommend another. It doesn't have to be you volunteering. If you see someone who's here, but you can't recommend someone who's in absentia. We hope that's clear.
I propose Professor Kibicho, be our General Secretary. Chibicho, Professor Chibicho.
Professor has stood down even before we have had a chance to comment. Thank you very much.
Geoffrey Semakula is my name. Like the way she has said, it's like the Spirit is driving me to that position. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Semakula, for the recommendation, for standing up. Do we have any others? There's a hand here. Excellent.
Good afternoon, members.
Good afternoon.
By names of Kabagabe Jenista. I would like to recommend Dr. Jennifer Ann.
I second.
Dr.
Jennifer.
Oh, Dr. Jennifer. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kabagabe. Dr. Jennifer, do you accept the microphone, the nomination? Then we vote for that too. We have 2 people. That's a yes, if it's hesitant.
With reservation.
Yeah.
Okay, when we get to it.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Ms. Fiona is going to take us through the voting. I don't know if members should go out. Yeah, she'll guide us.
Let's go out. I'm going to request Mr. Semakula. And I believe since the Mr. Semakula has self-nominated himself, do you have any 2 people who you would want to stand by you, who would come in as recommenders of the board, as members of the Sacco? Any 2?
Yeah.
Yes. Any?
Sorry to take you back a bit. I think that we would hear a word from each of them. That's when we can be able to know that I'm standing behind this person.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, members. We're going to hear a word. Let's first hear. Members, we're looking at the time. We had given Miss Fiona 10 minutes. We've eaten into her 5 minutes. Thank you very much. If we could invite each of the members to come and face the audience and tell us about themselves briefly.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Dear colleagues, good afternoon. Yeah, that's my name, Geoffrey Semakula. I'm a member of this circle. I'm also a member of this church. I serve as the warden in the 7 o'clock service. I'm born again. I'm a scientist by profession. I serve as a teacher, a physics math teacher at Insanji Secondary School. It's a government school. I'm a member, an executive member for Insanji Teachers Savings Circle. With the academic background, I'm a master's student at Kampala International University, and I'm yet to graduate. Master's in Education Administration and Management. I'm married with a wife, not a woman. I have 2 children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Semakula. Thank you, Mr. Semakula.
Good afternoon, brethren.
Good afternoon.
My name is Jennifer Ann Mugisha. I am a doctor by profession, a retired one because I'm 62 now.
Wow.
But I can still work on you in case of need. I'm a born-again Christian woman, a member of the Christian Women Fellowship Executive here in this church. I'm about 5 years old in this church, having migrated from All Saints Cathedral. I said I accept this position with reservation because of the many things that are here, the requirements. What I know is that I'm available to serve the Lord. What I know is that I have time more than before. And the time that I'm left with is to serve God and his people. I will endeavor to learn because I was a bit scared of some things that I didn't learn in school, that I also didn't learn elsewhere, that I see here, for example, financial skills, but I know I can count. Knowledge of cooperatives. My family is a cooperative. I think I have basic knowledge of how to run a cooperative. I've also been a member of other circles and other groups, not perhaps in leadership position, but an active member. I'm an active member of our Sacco. I endeavor to pay my loan and also to save. I'm so excited that we are growing as I watch. And I'm seeing a lot of potential in all of you. And that gives me the strength to think that I can serve you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ann. Fiona, you have 3 minutes left. I don't know how you're going to manage because it's 4:45. We need to make time for Q&A.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I'm going to request Dr. Jennifer and Mr. Semakula to step out. We are going to vote by raising of hand.
Yeah.
Faith, you'll help me with accounting, eh?
Of course. That's why the president votes.
Okay. So all in favor of Mr. Semakula? All in favor of Mr. Semakula?
Mr. Semakula.
All in favor of Mr. Semakula? You only vote once. All in favor of Mr. Semakula? $20, right? 19. 20. So those are 20 votes. I think Faith and myself counted 20, he counted 19. So all in favor of Dr. Jennifer? Remember, we vote once.
One hand, one hand.
Which one have you have?
It's the same.
Counted here. Have you counted?
Please,
Have you
yes,
counted?
I counted here. How many yours? So Dr. Jennifer, 32 votes. Mr. Semakula, 20.
We needed some.
Yeah.
For money. Just in case you mind, we don't want to ask you that why did you vote for me?
So Donald found the statistics, but we don't know. Thank you, members. As we wait for the 2 candidates to come in, tea will be served shortly. It's ready. Please do not leave without taking tea. And we have a Q&A session going on right after this, and then we should be able to close. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Mr. Semakula, for nominating yourself, and Dr. Jennifer for accepting the nomination. I would like to announce the results officially. Dr. Jennifer, Mr. Semakula. Mr. Semakula, 20 votes. Dr. Jennifer, 32 votes. And Madam,
Excellent.
Madam Chairperson, may I take the honor to present our incoming secretary, Dr. Jennifer.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fiona Magezi, our Electoral Commission Chairperson. Thank you very much. Yes, members, please welcome Dr. Ann Jennifer Mugisha to the high table. Immediately. You're most welcome, Dr. Mujisha. Most welcome. Please put here. We can put. You can put here. Congratulations. There is a hand up there. I hope you're not going to Court of Appeal, Supreme Court to nullify the elections. Yes, please.
Thank you for giving me the floor. I'm requesting that the second person could be assistant. It is a request because it is a tough job and it is voluntary.
Thank you very much, sir. That's a very good comment and question. There's another hand up there.
Mine is just procedural, that it is important to record the number of the voters, how many voters abstained, how many voters voted for A and B in the future. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Doctor. That has been noted. We have the number of 20 that voted for 20 and then 32. So total, but we didn't count those who abstained. Thank you for that procedure comment. In the interest of time, unfortunately, we can't repeat the process, but that has been noted. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Brian Migemba is my name. Just in response, there are some people who came a bit late and they didn't register. So it may take a long process to verify that. I think because I myself have not registered. Yeah. I've not registered and I was about to ask whether there was an attendance list. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your point has been noted. We are not going to go through the process of, validation and verification. Otherwise, we will need the real electoral commission to come and then, and we will leave at midnight, but very good point. Thank you. Please welcome our new secretary. And with regard to the, let's clap for her first. Then with regard to the comment on, sorry, the microphone is, the battery is weak. With regard to the comment on the assistant secretary, it's a very good suggestion, but unfortunately, each of the other members at this table will ask for assistance. So everybody is stand alone here. There's a lot of work coming onto this committee, but you heard what she said, that she is ready. She's ready to serve and she's ready to take on the mantle. So let's challenge her before we even give her an assistant. And we are capable, we are confident that she's going to do a good job. Today we've been assisted. I mentioned that our secretary was the vice chair, but I was wrong. Mr. Apollo Omoding has been very kind. Please clap for him to stand in as secretary. So at the end of the meeting, he will hand over the seat so that it doesn't get too comfortable and warm and he stays in it since he's a committee member. So thank you, members, for being transparent. Mr. Semakula, we thank you so much for standing up for office. Don't worry, next AGM, the chairperson's role is going to be vacant. Many of these roles, us who have served 2 years, we are going to be up for voting, re-election. So Mr. Semakula, we look forward to seeing you next year. Okay, Faith, has the video of the testimonies being shared online? If we can please send it online to save on time. Or do we have Madam Grace who is going to speak? Do we have some people who are going to speak? Or because we already had Mr. Mwanga who had shared his testimony. We were going to have it played. Okay, members, we are going to share the WhatsApp video. We have a 10 minutes video of Madam Grace. We want to welcome our head of laity. I saw him somewhere. Members, please clap for our head of laity, Mr. Dikubier. Thank you for joining us and for being our supporter. You've sat very far. You're worrying us. Are you okay? And he also gave a testimony in the video. Mr. Mwanga gave a testimony. We have a couple of people who gave very good testimonies in the video. So Faith is going to share it with everybody. Whoever is not on WhatsApp, during the tea break, rather when we break off, we will watch the video. So members, at this point in time, we would like to open up for any questions and answers, as well as additional comments. We will allow 10 minutes for this because it's 5 to 10, 5 minutes to 5 p.m. We will allow 10 minutes so that we can have closing remarks from the vicar and a closing prayer, and then we can enjoy the tea that has been prepared, and for people to go and attend weddings and functions, since many people already told us that they had many events to attend to. So the floor is open. I think we'll start with Mr. Chigowa because he had a comment. He said he had something he would like to raise at the time of Q&A. If we could please give him the microphone. Thank you very much.
My name is Moses Chibowa, and I'm a member of this circle. I'm a historical member, as I've already said. I would like to make a comment on the purchase of land. From what I have heard, we need at least 2 acres of land. But that piece of land should be, I think, around the city, not far. That's what I expect. If it is within the city and not further than Mukono or Mpigi or Ntebe, I think for 2 acres, I think we shall need not less than 2 billion shillings. I think that is an awful amount of money to get 2 acres of land. So I wonder whether we can adjust. 2 acres is quite a big piece of land, unless we had just maybe 1 acre. Because I don't know whether we can afford to spend 2 billion now to purchase just empty land without a building. So I don't know what members think. So I'm a bit apprehensive that we may not have what we need in the vicinity of Kampala if we're asking for 2 acres of land.
Yes. Thank you very much for your submission, Mr. Chigowa. And I see there's a comment. If I could just react to that as we pass on the microphone. Mr. Chigowa, we used 2 acres as an example. If we get 0.2 decimals here in Muyenga, and it's a good deal of 250,300,000, we will buy it because we know a year later, we will sell it at 500 million. So 2 acres was just an example. We are looking for land, good land. So if it's 1 acre, we will consider it. If it's half an acre, we will consider it. What we do not want to do as a circle is to go to a broker who has already cut up land to buy 15 decimals. Because what are we going to do with 15 decimals and how are we going to flip those 15 decimals? Unless it's in a prime area like Muyenga or somebody next door. Somebody could have a large compound and say they are going to cut their compound into half. They are a member of the circle and they only want to sell to the circle. And that is why we did not give all the detail, Mr. Chigowa, but please rest assured, we are not looking for 2 acres only. And we're open. We've been to Kakiri, we went to Wakiso, we've driven on Masaka Road, we've been to Matuga, we've been everywhere, Bulenga and Bulaga, we've been to Buloba. Land is expensive and land is not available. So if we can get our chief master dealer in land to help us identify good plots. There's still some land in Busunju. We saw land in Busunju, only 5 kilometers from the road, and it was still at 35 million an acre, just that we delayed and it was taken. And the person was selling 5 acres together at 35 million, an old man who just wanted some money for medical treatment. So clearly you can see if you look, there's some land. We just need to know where we are going to look. Thank you very much. There's a hand and then Mr. Shanyuka here as well. Thank you.
My name is Mzale Charles, a member. Also, I was worried of the issue of buying the land, but my colleague has commented it. But if you see the auditor's report, the figures we are having, sincerely, we a bit below the expectation. But if it is for the case of selling around, no problem. But even buying the land for the members, as you said, that we are indeed two categories of land. One is for selling it, another is for giving it to the members. Still, I'm seeing some bit of challenge because you may get the land for the members, which is not bad, but the distance, somebody might be the interest, the road, something of the sort. So also, I think you can also consider that. But the land, the issue of money for the land has the increasing every day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Very good comment. There's Faith, Mr. Sanyuka here. Shanyuka has his hand up. Okay, you can go first and then Mr. Hannington will go next. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. My name is Owori Jime. For us, we have a land, but it is St. Philip Church of Uganda. I was the founder of that church. It's a big land, but it's a family what? Family land. But if you want, I can take you and see that land so that you can process with what you want.
Sorry, which church, which land church is it?
That is Tororo's Church of Uganda, St. Philip. I'm the founder of that church.
In Tororo?
In Tororo.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you, members. Let's clap for, sorry, what was your name again? Philip.
Owori Jimmy.
Oh, Owori Jimmy, thank you very much. And it's a very kind of you to want us to come to Tororo, but members have been clear that they want to stay within Kampala and Wakiso, Mukono. Even Mukono is very dangerous these days. When you buy in Kayunga, you find in the morning they've built on your land. So people have said, can we stay here? So people want Muyenga almost and Kisugu. But thank you very much, Jimmy. We will come and visit you. Vika, that is Reverend Moses, that is an invitation for you to go and minister at his church in Tororo. And we commit that we will accompany you. All of us will come. Mr. Hannington on the floor.
Hannington Shauk is my name. This is the treasurer. You mentioned that when it comes to buying shares and then just saving, in terms of shares, members are not participating as much as it would have happened. I just wanted to know whether members fully understand the difference in terms of their personal benefit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hannington. That's a very good question that the treasurer will address. The difference between shares and savings and why one is better than the other or why both are good. Would like to welcome our former treasurer and member of the committee, current member, Mrs. Generous Turinawe. Thank you so much for joining us. She was visiting her children in school, as we mentioned, and she rushed back to be with us. Thank you.
I'm sharing information. The Kung Fu School is being sold at 700 million Uganda shillings. Just
Chiwafu.
No.
Oh,
Kisugu, as you go. The Kung Fu School is just after the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big is the plot? Do you know?
It could be half an acre.
Wow.
You members could visit it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know the agent if you're interested.
The Kung Fu School is just down here.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, Professor. That's very good information. And members will say, do you have the 700 million? And we'll say, it's not bad to dream. The most important thing is to identify and you put down our 200, then we partner with an Eritrean to bring the balance. Our Eritreans who are building here in Muyenga to bring the 500, and then we are co-owners. When he sells at 2 billion, we get our 1 billion, he goes with his 1 billion. So members, do not be afraid to tell us the very expensive properties because we'll look for them. Thank you. Yes, please. And sorry, let's just allow the treasurer to answer the other question before we miss it, then we come back to the rest.
Thank you. Yeah, and you're right, members might not understand the difference between shares and savings, but this is an initiative that we always try to explain to them. So it's a work in progress, and we always explain to the members the difference. But the basic or one-time difference between shares and savings is that the interest or the percentage payout you get on shares is higher than on savings. Reason is because savings is the ownership you have in the company. Shares, shares is the ownership you have in the company or Sacco. But the savings we are helping you to save your money. When you come tomorrow and you want to withdraw your savings, we can give you your savings up to 100%. If your savings are at 2 million and you have an issue and you want to withdraw your savings, we are entitled to give you up to 100. I'm not saying you come and get all of it. No, we want to invest. But you are entitled to up to 100% your savings. For people who have had savings withdrawal can testify. And that one is 1 day's notice and you receive your money. However, for shares, we do not give you 100% because we've invested your shares. So an example is Britam. If you bring to us your shares, we shall not keep that money on the bank. No, it doesn't benefit us. We shall take that money and invest it somewhere. So if you wake up and you want your shares, it is a process because we have to first liquidate that asset to give you the money, and you will not get 100%. That's why their dividend is higher. I don't know if it's clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, members. And in SACCOs like YSAVE, which are bigger than us, the treasurer hasn't mentioned to you, when at Kisugu, our Sacco, when we're giving you a loan, we add your shares and dividends, and we give you double that amount or triple, depending on what you want and the security that you have in terms of guarantees. However, in other SACCOs, YSAVE, Franciscan, Wazalendo, you can only borrow against your savings. You can't borrow against your dividends. So we are waiting to grow to a point where we have probably 1 billion in savings. Then we also take such a decision. And then we can now go into government bonds and buy a 10-year bond. Because if you buy a 10-year bond tomorrow and you come and ask us for your money, we will tell you we can't give you the money now because it's in the government 10-year bond. If we break it, we lose the interest that we have already that has already been accrued. So it's a very good question. And maybe what we need to do, Mr. Treasurer, is to educate people more on the platform about savings, the difference between savings and shares, and why it's good to put in both. Keep balancing your savings and shares. Put 20, 50, 30, 50, and you keep growing both of them. Yeah. So we'll put it on the WhatsApp group. Is everybody here on the WhatsApp group? Is everyone on the WhatsApp group? For who is not on the WhatsApp group? Please register when, or are you not on WhatsApp? You're not on WhatsApp generally. Now that will be a challenge because that is our main mode of communication, and email. If you don't have WhatsApp, maybe let's get your email address, but unfortunately it's hard for us to send SMSs. whenever we communicate this side. I think for those of you not on WhatsApp, please come to the office every Monday or every Sunday and sit with Faith and ask for updates that have been shared during the course of the week. I think that's the most appropriate way. I saw Professor's hand up. Was it her up? Oh, sorry, there was a hand, yes, there with a microphone. Thank you.
So I wanted to comment on the land issue because in this circle, we have the vision and the mission. So this circle, we gather here because this is the center. So when we are in the central, we concentrate on the central area. But there are people who are in this circle and maybe they come from Soroti, Tororo. So if this land can be purchased in those areas, maybe when it comes to someone has lost the job and they become dormant members, they find here is far. But if we can acquire this land in different areas, that means there will be an office there and the circle still continues. So in my view, I was like, we don't concentrate only here. We should consider other parts of the country also.
Thank you very much. That's a very good point. And it's been taken into, it's been noted. But members, remember what the vicar told us about West Ankole Diocese. Remember West Ankole Diocese, and Treasurer, I need vicar to listen to this point because he shared West Ankole Diocese started by Bishop Sheldon and others. They were in Mbarara only. Then they moved to Ankole. Then they moved to Kasha. They moved to the Antonde, Masaka. Now they are in Tinda. They opened a branch. Let us start somewhere. They've been open for 20 years. And now they have deposits of over 20 billion. So they receive money, they give out loans, so they need presence. Right now, our circle is too small to begin to think of going up country. Let us first start, empower our members by acquiring land that we can, number one, resell. Number two, sell to members, also flip over and make money or sell to members. Then we can think of opening branches. Because if we go down the regional route, we are going to fight. The people from West will say, can you start in the West? The people from West Nile, can we go to West Nile? Then Karamoja region, my brother here will say, can we go to Nakapiripiri, is it the district? Who is going to win? We will fight and end up closing the circle. So members, let us start somewhere. And you see Wazalendo is doing the same. Wazalendo was in Bombo. Then they moved to Kampala. Now they're in Wakiso. They're in Kampala. They're in Kamocha. They're opening branches. They've opened in Mbara, Fort Portal, and Jinja, the big cities. So we will follow, but baby steps first. Thank you. Yes, Professor. And then Head of Laity, members.
Thank you for allowing me to stand again. I want to add a little to what the treasurer was explaining concerning what is the difference between the savings and the shares. The difference is in risk. There is a higher risk if you're a shareholder compared to when you're a saver. When the company or the circle collapses, the shareholder will be paid the last of what is remaining. In the case of what they talk about bankruptcy, when you can't be able to pay all your debts. This is why the shareholders earn a higher interest. If the risk if you are involving yourself in a more risky venture, you expect a higher return. That's why the interest rate on the dividend is higher. For the savers, if the circle collapsed, they will be paid a little earlier compared to the shareholders. This is what I wanted to add. There is a higher risk for the shareholder compared to the saver. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Head of Laity, members, we are looking at the time. It's 5:15 now. We'll give Head of Laity an opportunity. There was a hand. Okay.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. and the entire team. I've been following online. We work on Saturday, and that's why I've not been able to be here in a time. But I want to thank you for the proficient reports you have given, especially for the treasurer. This was very good. Our records are being kept very well. I want to give thanks to the members for saving and for buying shares. Now, my issue is about the growth of the Sacco. And it is about the numbers of people buying the shares and the existing members increasing their shareholding in the Sacco. And my issue is about advertising. We need to aggressively advertise. I want to give thanks to Mr. Mudin and Madam Faith. They moved around to different places, trying to get to know what the members who have borrowed money have done it with, wherever they have invested it. And I was requesting that clip of 10 minutes, it would have been good if it was displayed, because you have used a lot of time here on some things that I saw possibly could not supersede that. And also, I'm requesting that the assistant vicar may help us to allow it be actually what? Yes, be played after the service. This is how we shall get membership. Otherwise, we can put in more effort, but we shall not attract others to be on board. Lastly, you have also realized that some members are not on WhatsApp. So you are going to send it there, but they will not receive, they will not see the picture. I want to end there, but thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, our head of laity. We are going to, very good feedback. We are going to speak to the assistant vicar and hopefully it will be played tomorrow in church. But even after we serve tea, please come and we have tea here while we watch the video, and we allow those who want to leave early because it's about 10 to 11 minutes. But would like to thank Mr. Omoding and Faith who put it together. Whenever I watch that video, I say, this is a nice video that must go onto national TV. So we must find a way of getting it there. But it's an excellent idea if we play it in the first service, second service, third service for a period of about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It will resonate in people's minds. So thank you very much, our head of laity, for your support. Thank you for being a member. Your wife came earlier, so she represented you. Mrs. Dikwivye, thank you so much for coming earlier and for representing him as well. So we have a few more hands and one comment, 2 comments, and then we'll hand over to the assistant vicar. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Musidan. Now, my issue is, I'm not quite sure, but I wanted to ask for the issue of people like staying in diaspora, and you picked interest in the Sacco, but I don't know how it can be helped because I've been monitoring the Sacco for 6 months. I made my mom join, and I myself, I would like to join, but I don't know. How can I do it?
Yeah, thank you very much. Very good question. We have some members actually who pray with us, but have moved out because they work in different countries and organizations, and they are still members of the Sacco. So yes, we have members who are in the diaspora, but the question is going to come, if you borrow money, want to borrow money, can we lend you? That is where we will sit as an executive committee and say, now, we don't know your address. We don't know where you're taking the money. If you're telling us you're going to borrow to buy a house in the UK or Dubai or land or wherever you're living. So on borrowing, we would take a more cautious approach. But on saving, we are happy to receive savings. So we've opened accounts for people in the diaspora. We have people who pray, who used to pray here, but have moved to UN Juba. We have some in West Africa. So we're very, very open. However, lending, remember, even if you have money and you want to borrow 200%, lending is discretionary based on some questions that we'll ask ourselves. We have a member who moved to Kasese, very good member. Faith put up a passionate appeal for that person. She used to cry every day and say, can we lend this person? He's doing business. He used to be one of our best borrowers here. But the moment he moved to Kasese, we told Faith, who's going to monitor that business on a daily basis? At least here, she jumps onto a border. She goes to Chibuli. She goes to Nansana. She's always going around to supervise and see that the money you've taken is actually going. But we have learned someone who moved to Mukono. They moved to Mukono. They are no longer praying here, and we've lent them money because it's still within that radius of ease of supervision. That is why we cannot take our brother's land in Tororo. We cannot buy land in Tororo. Who is going to supervise it? Who is going to go and monitor and ensure squatters do not come? Supervision is critical. I hope that answers the question partially. Not satisfactory, but at least it answers the question. Yes. So please open an account. We are going to make sure you open an account before you leave today. Okay. So members, thank you very much. We could carry on this conversation. There's another hand up there. Excellent. Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The land issue has been, I think, on the top of the either arguments or comments. I'll give a guide as an expert in this area. If you want to get a good deal in the land business, one thing you should do, avail money for facilitation and due diligence. Only two things if you want a deal in the land business. If anyone calls, let's say the administration, and they need them in Kachidi for an inspection, it should be an instant point. Not that let's wait for so and so, then someone bring a car, then someone do what? You'll not get a good deal in the land business. Second, if you can't do due diligence on a property at an immediate moment, then you'll not get that deal. I can assure you, maybe you missed that deal of the old Musée because you didn't have the time and the facilitation to do the necessary things. Two people are misleading the land business. Lawyers and surveyors. Those who are here, please forgive me. I wrote it in my book, but you're the very people who are misleading the country in the land business. A lawyer will make a search, a normal search. It will show that the property is actually there. But for us who have gone deeper, if you go in the strong room to check the files, sincerely speaking, what is on the system is not what is in the file. So for us, we do an extra mile of looking for a page. A page is costly. Someone will tell you, send me 200,000, I get a page. Then you will begin your meetings as some other person who is on the same deal will be putting in the money to move ahead. My suggestion is simple. Put some amount aside in the administration, specifically to facilitate transportation and the process of due diligence. If you don't have money for a surveyor who is immediate, someone will use another surveyor, they access the land, they use a better lawyer, they access the land, then they will do the business. When for you still moving around. But when that money is put on a side, it will help to facilitate the process, then you get a good deal on the market. Otherwise, those deals that come that can benefit a Sacco, they are few and people are willing to purchase them. There are so many. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. Very good comments and very good insights. And members, I want to assure you that the executive committee has approved money for all due diligence and for transport, and everybody is facilitated when they are going. So that part has been crossed. What we need from you, and that's why we keep posting on the group, show us the land, give us ideas. Now we are going to send someone to Kung Fu to find out before the Eritreans run and pay 1 billion. Because they are paying double. If you want 700, they give you 1.2 billion and they take the land. So we are going to explore all these ideas all that we need from you are the ideas, members. If you know we have an idea in Tororo, give us the ones in Kampala, give us the ones in Soroti. We will listen to all of them. The committee will sit down together and we will vet them. But members, come next year, it will not be good for us not to have land. We need to own land because land is wealth and land appreciates. And it doesn't matter whether it's 10 kilometers off the road, just show it to us because the city is growing and expanding. And soon we will be able to move into these areas. So members, thank you very much. We are looking at the clock. It's 17:23, which is 5:23. The tea has been out for an hour and we really want to release people to go back to their functions. It's a Saturday to go back to their offices and their businesses. We thank you very much on behalf of the executive committee and I. And at this point, would like to invite Assistant Vicar to give us a few remarks on behalf of their church and to give you the assurance that the church is part of this, is supporting us. And then he will close us in prayer. Thank you very much, members. Please clap for yourselves. And we thank you for your excellent attendance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The church is fully behind this initiative of this Sacco. And the parish council made a resolution to be saving monthly. At that time, it was 2 million. But in the last council, we said, even if we can't afford 2 million, let us put something. And we are also, as a church, benefiting because when we had some financial needs, we were able to borrow from this circle and we are duly paying up like any one of us. I would like to borrow the slogan of Barack Obama, who was the president of US, to say, friends, together we can. Together we can move this circle to greater heights. May the good Lord bless you. May I invite you to stand up and we pray. God, our Heavenly Father, we bless your holy name. For you have led us this far. Your word says that the steps of a righteous person is established by God. We pray that you'll establish every step this circle and the members take in their individual and in our collective efforts to grow financially. I pray that, dear Lord, you'll grant us favor. Grant us to enjoy good life so that we can be able to undertake all these things that we have discussed here. We thank you for your leading. We bless you also for the cup of tea and the eats. May you, dear Lord, refresh us with your grace as we use them. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. And now may the blessing of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, watch over each one of you now and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you very much, Vicar. The meeting is hereby closed at 5:30. Please stay behind for a cup of tea and thank you all. Please clap for yourselves. Thank you very much. Faith, is the video ready for us to watch us after tea? Okay. Members, please do not leave the tea. We ordered a lot of tea and snacks. We'll watch as we are taking tea. Yes.
Thank you for your cooperation. Wow. Very clear. Thank you very much. Yes, Mr.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Eh?
We can.
We can.
We can.
We can.
There's no reason why we can't. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Next year you should sit in this seat. Amen. Amen. Yes.
Let me work hard to get what it takes.
Yeah, you have it already. Where did you find it?
Kisugu bwe yatandikawo ekibiina ekyo ekya Sacco n'awulira essanyu nakijjumbira kubanga kyanzijukiza ebyo bye nali ndabyeko emabega n'obulungi bwabyo. Ebintu bingi Kisugu Sacco nze nga nze byenkoledde kubanga twazaala abaana baffe naye ababiri ne batufaako kama n'abayita nga balina abaana era abaana abo ssente zibaweeredde kuba baali bato tuzijje mu Sacco.
Sacco ennyambye nnyo kubanga nali sirina kyakukola nga sirina mulimu naye Sacco yampa looni ne ntandika bizinesi. Natandika bizinesi nga ntono nnyo naye egenze ekula lwa Sacco.
I was doing business as usual, but the business was not, I didn't have enough capital. So through my saving and I managed to access money, which my business, and this is where we are today, and the business is moving on well. You can see the stock inside, and
so everything that you're seeing here, I just got it from the money that was given to me in the form of a loan. So I first set up these houses, these 2 rooms, and these 2 rooms are being occupied by the tenant. Every tenant gives me 300,000. I really thank God. It has helped me to build these rentals, and as I'm saying, I'm going to get another loan that is going to help me on the roofing.
We didn't have a bank to go to that time, but Kisugu used to give me money, and it has helped me to build the storage building, classrooms, the staff room, and it has added value to the school.
At the beginning of this year, we wanted to renovate our school that was actually affected by the 2 years of COVID-19. And we didn't have enough money. So because we have been saving with the SACCOs, we went and negotiated for a loan. And they gave us a loan. Currently, you can see how the school is shining. This loan helped us a lot to change
the outlook of the school.
With the artistic work on the walls, the learners themselves enjoy the conducive learning environment which is in place.
I could get a loan. After getting it, I concentrate on finishing it. After finishing it, I could go to Faith once again, and she gives me another loan.
Bambi tebandiisa kubanga bw'ogimalayo n'osaba bakuwa endala. So the process of getting a loan nyangu nnyo terwawo eri so fast.
Yinza ogamba nti oba tefaanako ne Sacco endala. Management yaayo nnungi nnyo. Ku myaka gye nnina 9 n'emyezi nga 6, siwuliddemu buzibu bwonna kubanga abaddukanya Sacco eno bantu balungi. Sacco eno kye nagyagalako okufaanana nga comparative gye nalabako edda nga ndi mwana muto, bwe nfuna ekizibu ne wemba sisobola kujja wano ku church, bwe mbakubira essimu nti bannange nina obuzibu, njagala buyambi, sitawana na kujja wano. Bo bakola organization ne baleeta empapula zaabwe n'ensimbi awaka ne sayininga ne ngenda mu ddwaliro oba ne ngenda ne nkola kyonna kye nalibadde sisobola kukola.
They give you the money in one day. And that's what I know. They can't wait and they have no, if you are faithful, they don't have questions.
Nze nganze tembeerangako nzibu. Then n'okusasula si kibi. Okusasula nako tusasula bulungi. Sacco yagenda netuwa omukisa nti bw'oba tosobola kusasula mwezi osobola okusasula buli lunaku, bw'oba tosobola kusasula buli lunaku osobola kusasula buli wiiki, bw'oba tosobola kusasula buli wiiki you can pay daily. Kati nze ssente wenfunira wempeerayo sirinda bya mwezi. Wale bagamba mbu eno olina okuzirayo miliyoni 1 buli mwezi nga tojja zisobola. Kati esente ezo nsobola zikutulamu n'ensasula leero n'enkya na buli wenfunira wenterayo gw'olaba nga looni ogimazeeyo mu bwangu oluusi towezza n'omwaka gwe baakuwa. So that's how I pay my loan. Sasula wenfunidde wenterayo sirinda bya mwezi.
For COVID time, the banks were closed and they reached the point that they shouldn't give loan to schools. Now I got money from the Sacco and I was getting my income from rentals. And sometimes they didn't pay well. And that means I was not paying well. And they didn't penalize me or cut any money from me.
Balina ekisa wonna woba oyagalira obuyambi lubeere lwa mukaaga bebeere Sande obuyambi obufuna mangu. Neebaza olw'ekigambo ekyo. Tebalina bukalubo eri bantu. Kinsinze okwagala mu Sacco yaffe, nze nazaala abaana ne batulekera abazzukulu nga bakyali bato. Tetukola tujja mu Sacco ne tubategeeza ne batuwa ssente nga tetufunye buzibu bwonna. Era Mukama nga bw'akyampadde obulamu nja kufuba nnyo okulaba nti nkola campaign okulaba nti Sacco eno yeeyongera okugenda mu maaso. N'abaana bennyini abazzukulu ngenda kubatandikirawo akawunti yaabwe mu Sacco eno bakuli nga bamanyi nti Sacco oba cooperatives za mugaso.
Possibly you lack wisdom on how to use such a loan. The Sacco leadership can be able to teach you. You never regret. Your business will be able to make profits. So, as directors of St. Stephen's Church, Kisugu Primary School, we want to give thanks to the management of our Sacco for the way
they're handling the operations.
You people, if you are faithful and you join Sacco, I think you will be helped as they helped me. Yeah, friendly. They don't abuse if you miss. So it has helped me to grow.
So it's really good, and I encourage my fellow savers out there to please join St. Stephen's Church Sacco Save, and we will really appreciate the services you'll get from there.
Era njagala okubiriza abantu bonna abatanaba kujoininga Sacco banemujoininga Sacco kubanga Sacco eno ekirungi ekirala ekigiriko nti ka interest kaba katono sente tuzaayo ntono nnyo compared to bank money ate bo batuwa ne chance ey'okuzaayo loan anytime you want. You don't necessarily kulinda nti ozeeyo ku mwezi oyina zizaayo wonna w'ofunidde oba osookozesa code yo n'osasula ki loan. So I do encourage everyone atanaba kujoininga St. Stephen's Sacco ajje ajoininge bali trustworthy. Our money zibeera mu safe hands. Ate ne saving go sometimes oba oyina kyoyagala omukozesa you can access.
Kisugu bwe yatandikawo ekibiina ekyo ekya Sacco n'awulira essanyu nakijjumbira kubanga kyanzijukiza ebyo bye nali ndabyeko emabega n'obulungi bwabyo. Ebintu bingi Kisugu Sacco nze nga nze byenkoledde kubanga twazaala abaana baffe naye ababiri ne batufaako kama n'abayita nga balina abaana era abaana abo ssente zibaweeredde kuba baali bato tuzijje mu Sacco.
Sacco ennyambye nnyo kubanga nali sirina kyakukola nga sirina mulimu naye Sacco yampa loan n'entandika business. Natandika business nga ntono nnyo naye egenze ekula lwa Sacco.
I was doing business as usual, but the business was not, I didn't have enough capital. So through my saving, and I managed to access money, which my business, and this is good. This is where we are today, and the business is moving on well. You can see the stock inside, and
so everything that you're seeing here, I just got it from the money that was given to me in the form of a loan. So I first set up these houses, these 2 rooms, and these 2 rooms are being occupied by the tenant. Every tenant gives me 300,000. I really thank God.
It has helped me to build these rentals, and as I'm saying, I'm going to get another loan that is going to help me on the roofing.
We didn't have a bank to go to that time, but Kisugu used to give me money, and it has helped me to build the storage building, classrooms, and the staff room, and it has added value to the school.
At the beginning of this year, we wanted to renovate our school that was actually affected by the 2 years of COVID-19. And we didn't have enough money. So because we have been saving with the Saccos, we went and negotiated for a loan. And they gave us a loan. Currently, you can see how the school is shining. This loan helped us a lot to change the outlook of the school.
With the artistic work on the walls, the learners themselves enjoy the conducive learning environment which is in place.
I could get a loan. After getting it, I concentrate on finishing it. After finishing it, I could go to Faith once again, and she gives me another loan.
Bambi tebandwisa kubanga bw'ogimalayo n'osaba bakuwa endala. So the process of getting a loan nyangu nnyo terwawo eri so fast.
Yinzoga nti batefaanako ne Sacco endala. Management yaayo nnungi nnyo. Ku myaka gye nnina 9 n'emyezi nga 6, siwuliddemu buzibu bwonna kubanga abaddukanya Sacco eno bantu balungi. Sacco eno kinajagalako okufaanana nga cooperative gye nalabako edda nga ndi mwana muto. Bwe nfuna ekizibu ne mba sisobola kujja wano ku church, bwe mbakubira essimu nti bannange nina obuzibu, njagala buyambi, sitawana na kujja wano. Bo bakola organization ne baleeta empapula zaabwe n'ensimbi awaka ne sayininga ne ngenda mu ddwaliro oba ne ngenda ne nkola kyonna kye nalibadde sisobola kukola.
They give you the money in one day. And that's what I know. They can't wait and they have no, if you are faithful, they don't have questions.
Nze nyanze tembeera abakonzibu. Then n'okusasula si kibi. Okusasula nako tusasula bulungi. Sacco yagenda netuwa omukisa nti bw'oba tosobola kusasula mwezi osobola okusasula buli lunaku, bw'oba tosobola kusasula buli lunaku osobola kusasula buli wiiki, bw'oba tosobola kusasula buli wiiki you can pay daily. Kati nze ssente wenfunira wempeerayo sirinda bya mwezi. Wale bagamba mbu eno olina okuzirayo miliyoni emu buli mwezi nga tojja zisobola. Kati esente ezo nsobola zikutulamu n'ensasula leero n'enkya na buli wenfunira wenterayo gw'olaba nga looni ogimazeeyo mu bwangu olusitowezza n'omwaka gwe baakuwa. So that's how I pay my loan. Sasula wenfunidde wenterayo sirinda bya mwezi.
For COVID time, the banks were closed and they reached the point that they shouldn't give loan to schools. Now I got money from the Sacco and I was getting my income from rentals. And sometimes they didn't pay well. And that means I was not paying well. And they didn't penalize me or cut any money from me.
Balina ekisa wonna woba oyagalira obuyambi lubeere lwa mukaaga bebeere Sande obuyambi obufuna mangu. Neebaza olw'ekigambo ekyo. Tebalina bukalubo eri bantu. Kinsinze okwagala mu Sacco yaffe, nze nazaala abaana ne batulekera abazzukulu nga bakyali bato. Kye tukola tujja mu Sacco ne tubategeeza ne batuwa ssente nga tetufunye buzibu bwonna. Era Mukama nga wakyampadde obulamu nja kufuba nnyo okulaba nti nkola campaign okulaba nti Sacco eno yeeyongera okugenda mu maaso n'abaana bennyini abazzukulu ngenda kubatandikirawo akawunti yaabwe mu Sacco eno bakuli nga bamanyi nti Sacco oba cooperatives za mugaso.
Possibly you lack wisdom on how to use such a loan. The Sacco leadership can be able to teach you. You will never regret. Your business will be able to make profits. So, as directors of St. Stephen's Church, Kisugu Primary School, we want to give thanks to the management of our Sacco for the way they're handling the operations.
People, if you are faithful and join Sacco, I think you will be helped as they helped me. Yeah, friendly, they don't abuse if you miss. So it has helped me to grow.
So it's really good, and I encourage my fellow savers out there to please join St. Stephen's Church Sacco Save, and we will really appreciate the services you get from there.
Era njagala okubiriza abantu bonna abatanaba kujoininga Sacco banemujoininga Sacco kubanga Sacco eno ekirungi ekirala ekigiriko nti ka interest kaba katono. Sente tuzaayo ntono nnyo compared to bank money. Ate bo batuwa ne chance ey'okuzaayo loan anytime you want. You don't necessarily kulinda nti ozeeyo ku mwezi oyina zizaayo wonna w'ofunidde oba osobola okukozesa koodi n'osasula ki loan. So I do encourage everyone atalaba kujoininga St. Stephen's Sacco aje ajoininge. Bali trustworthy, our money zibeera mu safe hands. Ate ne saving go sometimes oba oyina kyoyagala omukozesa you can access.